the illegal metal that empires tried to destroy. What if the most powerful empires on Earth tried to bury, ban, and destroy a metal? Not because it was worthless, but because it was dangerously valuable. What if criminals used it to counterfeit gold coins? Kings hoarded it in secret, and scientists were captured by enemy navies just for knowing about it. That metal is platinum, and its history is one of the most shocking, violent, and misunderstood financial stories ever told. If you're new here, subscribe now, because every week we uncover the financial secrets that textbooks never teach. 2 billion years ago, platinum arrived on Earth not from any mine or mountain, but from outer space. Meteorites rich in this silvery white element plunged deep into the Earth's crust during a massive cosmic bombardment. Those ancient rocks seeded our planet with one of the rarest and most chemically stubborn metals in existence. Platinum is more than 15 times rarer than gold, yet, for most of human history, powerful empires treated it like garbage. The first humans to use platinum were the ancient Egyptians, with traces discovered on a coffin unearthed in Thebes. Estimated to be from the 7th century BC, chemists have identified platinum mixed with gold in items dating back to Egypt's Middle Kingdom. Between 1991 and 1718 BCE, one of the most stunning examples is the papyrus casket owned by the priest Sheep-Napid, decorated with platinum ornaments, now on show in the Louvre in Paris, dating to around 750 BC. When French chemist Marcellin Berthelot tested the metal in 1901, he learned that the untarnished silver metal was actually a combination of platinum, iridium, and gold. Pre-Columbian civilizations in South America were even more advanced. They were crafting ceremonial platinum jewelry and objects for ritual use as far back as 100 BC. The Incas developed a sophisticated technique. Platinum granules were covered in gold dust and heated to 1,500 degrees Celsius using bellows and a charcoal fire. The gold melted and bonded the platinum granules together. When this was repeated with a cold hammering, it produced metal sheets of significant size. The platinum content reached 55 to 60%. These skills were extraordinary, and then, like so much ancient knowledge, they were lost for centuries. When Spanish conquistadors searched rivers and streams in 16th century South America for gold and silver, they found chunks of platinum. They called it platini, meaning little silver, and discarded it with no idea it was rare and valuable. Some conquistadors believed it was unripe gold and put it back in the mine or ground to ripen, believing it would yellow with age. That shocking misunderstanding caused empires to discard what was, in reality, one of the rarest materials on the planet. In 1557, Julius Caesar Scaliger, an Italian-French scientist, analyzed a bit of the mystery metal from South America and found that it was not silver and that it would not melt. Gold has a melting point of 1,947 degrees Fahrenheit. Platinum's melting point is a staggering 3,214 degrees Fahrenheit, making it almost impossible to work with using the technology of the era. The Spanish abandoned some gold mines with high concentrations of this nuisance, walking away from deposits of one of the rarest metals on Earth. And here is where the story takes its first, truly dark turn. After the discovery that platinum alloys with gold, counterfeiters began to add it to gold coins, as its density is slightly greater than gold. Coins made of platinum and covered with a thin layer of gold could be made to nearly match the proper weight with minimal difference in thickness or diameter. In the 1700s, the Spanish government recognized the potential for mixing platinum with gold to imitate gold items. A few counterfeit gold coins of Spain did appear in the 1700s and early 1800s. The Spanish Empire was horrified, not because platinum was valuable, but because it was the perfect weapon for financial fraud. Accordingly, the Spanish government took deterrent action in 1758, banning the platinum trade. In 1788, the Spanish crown decreed that all platinum must be delivered to the king for $2 a pound. The Spanish government wasn't trying to protect platinum. We were trying to control it. contain it, and prevent it from destroying their entire monetary system. There was a darker irony. The practice of adding platinum to gold as a ligature was later adopted by the Spanish authorities themselves, secretly reducing the gold's content of official currency. The very metal they called worthless became a government tool for financial deception on a massive scale. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, a 19-year-old Spanish naval officer named Antonio de Ulloa was about to change the course of platinum's history forever. Antonio de Ulloa was only 19 years of age when he was promoted to the rank of frigate lieutenant and sent on a life-faltering expedition to Quito in Ecuador, led by French geographers Charles-Marie de la Condamine and Pierre Bouguer. Antonio departed Spain in May of 1735, not knowing he wouldn't see his motherland again for more than a decade. Ulloa traveled throughout the territories of the Viceroyalty of Peru from 1736 to 1744. In one of his reports, he described, for the first time in European scientific literature, the properties of a metal he called platina, which he encountered during his inspection of gold panning operations in the Chaco region of what is now Colombia. In 1745, having finished their scientific work, Loa and Jorge Juan prepared to return to Spain, agreeing to travel on different ships to minimize the risk of losing their important samples and records. The ship upon which Ulloa was traveling was captured by the British Royal Navy, and he was taken to England as a prisoner of war. Members of the Royal Society found out there was a member of the French Equatorial Expedition in their midst. The president, Martin Foulques, pulled strings to secure Ulloa's release and the return of all his records and collections. Ulloa was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society of London in December 1746, a remarkable honor for a man who had arrived as a prisoner of war. Key finally returned to Spain and published his landmark account in 1749, containing the first detailed scientific description of platinum ever published in European scientific literature. Around the same time, Jamaican metallurgist Charles Wood had been quietly smuggling platinum samples into England as early as 1741. By 1749, he had become convinced it was a completely new metal, and he presented his findings to the Royal Society of England in 1750. In 1751, Swedish scientist Henrik Theophilus Schäfer published a landmark paper declaring platinum was not silver, it's not an alloy, but a precious metal entirely its own, a precious metal of durability like gold and silver. That was not any of the 6 old metals. News of this magnificent, unmeltable, incorruptible metal spread rapidly through the royal courts of Europe. By the 1780s, King Louis XVI of France was commissioning his personal jeweler Marc-Etienne Janety to create platinum pieces for him, proclaiming it to be the only metal fit for kings. But there was a secret scandal behind those magnificent royal creations. King Charles III of Spain had forbidden the free export of platinum upon pain of censure. Historians believe, though it cannot be definitively proven, that Janety worked with metal that was seized in open waters no later than Jamaica, on its way from South America by official English pirates or bandit captains. In return, gold doubloons were sent to the ambitious company in Paris with the blessing of the king. The most refined metal in Europe's royal courts was being obtained through piracy and smuggling, a breathtaking financial scandal hiding in plain sight. In the early 1800s, English chemist William Wollaston found a way to produce pure platinum on a commercial scale. He kept his technique secret until just before his death, hoarding the knowledge like a personal financial monopoly. In the waning years of the 19th century, new high-temperature blowtorches made it possible to work platinum into fine jewelry. Cartier in Paris and Tiffany & Co. in New York took the lead, making platinum jewelry a status symbol. Many famous stones are set in platinum, including the Hope Diamond. Platinum reached its peak of popularity in the early 1900s. It surpassed gold as the preferred metal for all fine jewelry in America, but those who could afford to pay the price. Hollywood's leading ladies, adorned in platinum jewelry, became a focus for Americans looking to the big screen for escapism during the Great Depression. The success of platinum in Hollywood is summed up by Jean Harlow's character in Frank Capra's movie Platinum Blonde. At the coronation of George VI, his wife, Queen Elizabeth, was crowned with an elegant platinum crown, holding the famous Koh-i-Noor diamond. And then, catastrophically and without warning, platinum was ripped away from the world again. In the United States, the War Production Board's L-136 order in 1942 restricted gold use to 10% of pre-war levels and completely prohibited platinum in non-military applications, forcing jewelers to fundamentally rethink their craft. Platinum's extraordinary resistance to heat, with a melting point of 3,215 degrees Fahrenheit, made it indispensable for high-temperature components in aircraft engines and precision military instruments. In occupied France, famous houses like Cartier had to become incredibly resourceful, often breaking up old pieces to create new ones. Japan had its own remarkable platinum story during the war. The Japanese government banned private ownership of gold entirely, so platinum became the metal of choice by necessity. Once the ban was lifted, it remained in place for years after the war. The Japanese increasingly turned to gold jewelry, denied platinum jewelry during the war years. Consumer taste was nurtured in other directions. In time, the craftsmen who could work magic with platinum grew old and retired. Yet platinum refused to stay buried, as it always had throughout its extraordinary history. The discovery of the world's largest platinum deposit near Johannesburg in South Africa by German geologist Hans Marinsky gave rise to the modern platinum industry. Today, an estimated 95% of the world's platinum reserves are deep in the Earth's crust in South Africa, making it one of the most strategically important mining nations on the planet. Catalytic converters in automobiles account for a staggering 50% of annual platinum demand, converting toxic car exhaust gases into less harmful substances. Platinum is also used as a catalyst in the chemical industry, in the creation of life-saving anti-cancer drugs, in fuel cells, and in electrical contacts. The metal that empires once tried to destroy, throw away, or keep locked from the world is now one of the most strategically critical materials in modern civilization. A metal born in the death of ancient stars, is carried to Earth on meteorites 2 billion years ago, dismissed by conquistadors, banned by kings, fought over by pirates, seized by governments, and hoarded by scientists. Platinum has outlasted every empire that ever tried to control it. Its story is a reminder that real value cannot be suppressed forever, that the most powerful financial forces in history have always eventually bowed to truth. So here's the question worth sitting with. If the greatest empires in history could so completely misread the value of the rarest metal on Earth, what else might the world be getting wrong right now? What are today's institutions suppressing, dismissing, or mislabeling, just as the conquistadors mislabeled platinum as little silver? We want to hear from you. Do you think platinum deserves far more attention as a financial asset today? Is it the most underrated precious metal in the modern investment world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters, and this community grows stronger every time you share it. And if this story shocked you as much as the history itself shocked us, please subscribe. Every week, we dig into the hidden financial histories, the suppressed economic secrets, and the stories that empires preferred you never knew. Subscribe now, hit the notification bell, and join a community that believes the truth about money is always more extraordinary than the official story.